So let's take a quick look at generators. So the idea with generators are that you can make your own generators that you might want to use to regenerate code over and over again. So I'm going to just put a folder on my desktop called generators, and we're going to create some clips. First, we're going to take some stuff off the clipboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this set of script steps here, which loop through a list. So they have a variable to count the loop index, the list variable, and the item variable that will be that each list item will be set to when it's in the middle of the loop. So I want to take that and turn that into a generator. So I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create a loop list generator. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to edit that and just say loops a list of values using get value. And I could add a bunch more README stuff here, which I won't do right now. But let's look at, so here is the XML. And what I want to do now is I want to create what we call prompts, which are basically merge tokens. And so we're going to make one called loop index, and we'll say the example is loop index, and this is the number of the current loop. And then we can do loop, let's call this list variable. And that could be something like, I don't know, we'll call it my list. And this is the variable that contains the list I want to loop. All right, so what we're doing is filling out kind of a merge token sheet or a setup that people will use when they're using this generator, so they can quickly put their own values in for these things that will fit the specific thing that they're doing. So they don't have to use overly generic code. They can actually use code that's written with the right variable names and specifically written for the instance that they're actually needing this loop list. So the last thing we need is the item variable. So we've got that, and we'll just say my item, and this will contain this variable will contain the list. All right, so there's that. So those are our tokens. So now what we need to do is we need to go into the XML, and we're going to use the token here in place of all the places that the loop index showed up. So if we look, it's here. I know it's probably too small. I'll zoom on the video if I can. And there's another one. I think there's one more down here. There's loop index. So I think that should do it for that one. And then we'll grab the list variable. And that was, let's see. Here's the loop variable, and there should be, that may be it. And then prompts, we need the item variable. There's two instances of that in here. I'm taking a long time here, but you probably understand what I'm up to with this. There should be one more. There it is. Yeah. So we've just tokenized the XML to accept these indexes, and we've given people some examples and some help that they can use when they want to use this generator. So once we save that, we're good. We're back to this, and we can see all our stuff. And we want to use it. We click the copy to clipboard, and we get this interface where it tells us, we're looking for a loop index. It gives us some potential values, and it gives us some help. So I can put in here counter because that's what I want to use, and I can say that this is, let's say this is users. I'm looping through a list of users, and this is user. Now when I copy to clip, I'll have that on my clipboard. If I go back, create a new script, we'll see that now that's what I have. My variable is counter, my users is the list variable, and is empty is using the user and the counter. Looks like I missed one right there. So let's go back and fix that in the XML. We missed one instance of the loop index. We'll get that right so you guys can see. There it is, right there. Okay, there's that. We save and now copy to clip, and it keeps our last values for us, which is nice. So I'll copy that and I'll come back to our script and we'll delete that in there. So now we have it right. So now anytime I want to loop lists, I can just grab this guy right here and it'll generate that for me specifically for whatever instance I need it in. So again, no need to over abstract or over generalize your code. If you have a generator that can tokenize your XML, you can get a long way with making complex functionality that you can just paste in right away. So that's it on the generator. I'm going to return one more video on storing data on disk, which is something we're doing here that I think is rather interesting. So stay tuned for that.